Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a storage unit facility in Minecraft, step by step, block by block, including the interior for all of your city building needs. Now, let me show you what is included in this tutorial. These are the separate outside storage units. During the video, I will give you some ideas on how you can fill these up. This is the main building, which has outside storage capabilities, but you can also access them from the inside as well. Heading inside, we have a small reception. From this hallway, we have door access to the outer storage units. And more importantly, some exclusive indoor units that cannot be accessed from the outside. After the main building phase of this video, I will suggest a series of vehicles that would pair nicely with this build. Links down below in the description. By the way, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. This does not count. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to find me will have their comment pinned. Also, did you spot the super secret sign? If you did, what did it say? This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position for the tutorial, begin at the front left hand corner of your grid, count backwards, find the 35th block, and then count to the right and find the 11th block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing a polished andesite on the ground. Then place 3 polished andesite stairs to the right. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 polished andesite. 1, 2, 3. 3 stairs. 1, 2, 3. 3 polished andesite. 1, 2, 3. 3 stairs, 1, 2, 3, then a single polished andesite, followed by a polished black stone wall, glass pane, leave a gap, place a glass pane, polished black stone wall, and then a single polished andesite. 3 polished andesite stairs afterwards, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 polished andesite, 1, 2, 3, 3 stairs, 1, 2, 3. 3 andesite, 1, 2, 3. 3 stairs, 1, 2, 3. And then finally a single polished andesite. Now let's just take a look at what we have made. We should have the exact same sequence of blocks on the left side as we do the right. Once we have done this, we are going to come all the way back over to the right side of the build, where we will continue by extending backwards. Place 6 polished andesite behind this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then an iron door. And then 9 polished andesite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we will start extending across the back of the build by placing 15 polished andesite to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then, we will place a stone brick wall, followed by 5 polished andesite stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a stone brick wall. We will then extend polished andesite to the right, and we will line up with where we very first started, which is right here. We will then start extending back towards the front of the build by placing 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 polished andesite extending forwards, followed by an iron door, and then polished andesite extending and connecting all the way back to where we first started. Next, I feel oddly compelled to remove all of the grass from inside of the build. So, instead of fighting that feeling, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm also just going to remove underneath these walls as well. And we do also have to remove underneath the doors. The floor material that we are using for the inside of the build is smooth stone. So once you do remove the doors, stick the smooth stone down, replace the door, and now that we have done all of that, we can just start adding all of the smooth stone into the floor instead. And the smooth stone is going to extend outwards around the build to act as a path, so we will be placing it underneath the walls and the glass as well. Probably easier to do this first and then this. And there we go. Now that we have replaced the floor, I think it's a good idea to start working on the interior layout. Begin by coming all the way to the back middle section of the build, where we have our stairs and wall blocks. Start off by placing 7 polished andesite extending out of the back of the walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then, extending towards the outer walls, we will place either 3 stone stairs, 1, 2, 3, and then a polished andesite, or 3 polished andesite stairs, 1, 2, 3, and then a polished andesite. So we're basically choosing between stone stairs or polished andesite stairs, and then we can just repeat this. So 1, 2, 3 stairs, polished andesite, and then 1, 2, 3 stairs. And that will give us 4 units in total along this side of the back wall. Now, my predicament is this: as I have been building the foundation, I've kind of decided that I think that the storage unit doors would look better if they contrasted a little bit. So I am edging towards using stone stairs rather than the pre-planned polished andesite stairs. So I'm going to change all of these to stone, and then I am going to extend the polished andesite blocks in between these all the way back to form separate units, just like this. And then we actually have the exact same set of units on the left side, which we start off by placing 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 polished andesite extending forwards from our wall, and then this time I'm going to use only polished andesite stairs. We place 3, 1, 2, 3, extending left, polished andesite, 3 stairs, 1, 2, 3, polished andesite, 3 stairs, 1, 2, 3, polished andesite, and then 3 stairs. I'm just going to extend the polished andesite blocks in between them backwards to form the shape of the units. And now let's just take a look. There we go. See, whilst I do think that it looks cleaner to have the polished andesite stairs. I think that that just contrasts nicely. So I'm just going to replace every single polished andesite stair with a stone stair. This also includes the long row at the back of the build. However, I would urge you that if you preferred the polished andesite stairs, please stick with those. It really doesn't matter. Except to me, it matters a lot. Next, we are going to come towards the front of the build this time and extend the polished andesite blocks that connect to the polished blackstone wall backwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will extend those blocks all the way out to the side, like this, and we will do the same on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we will extend out, just like this. Then we actually have to divide these units up. My recommendation is to do it like this. So we extend the polished andesite backwards, just left and right of the doors, like this. This does leave a little bit of dead space here, but there's nothing that I can really think to do about it. And we will do the same over here as well. So, here, 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 and here. Now, another option as well for the front set of units specifically is if you want to have like an interior door for the units, you could. So these outer units could also be accessed from the inside, whereas the back set of units, as you can see, are a little bit larger, and I like the idea of them only being able to be accessed from the inside of the building. So that's an option if you would like as well. And then we do just have to make a small reception area as well. This is done by placing a polished andesite here, then an oak door, and then polished andesite extending to the right, just like this. Now that we have laid out the interior structure, and it oddly kind of reminds me of a prison for some reason, which is weird, but we're going to move past it by focusing on the walls. Start off by placing 3 smooth quartz block on top of every single polished andesite. 1, 2, 3. Now, these andesite are spread throughout the entire build, so my recommendation is to just focus on one area at a time, and to extend the smooth quartz across the top of any doorways as well. So that is the left side of the build. Why don't we start extending across the back now? Just have to jump over here and place 1, 2, 3 more. And then we can move on to this right side. Across the top of the door again. And then we've got just a bunch of disjointed smooth quartz, so like 1, 2, 3 here. Basically in between all of the units. There we go, so that is all of the outer smooth quartz done. And then we have the inside. I guess maybe it'll be easier to like do it across the hallway here, so like 1, 2, 3. And then across the top of the doors. There's not really a smooth quartz way of doing this exactly, so that's why this feels a little bit weird and disjointed, because I'm not sure what the actual best method of doing this is. I don't think there is one, actually, so I think that we'll just make these hallway walls, and then we'll just connect the individual unit walls to them. So just like that. And then these ones. You do have the option, I'm pretty sure that I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. With these cavities, you could make some of the units a little bit larger if you like. I am considering maybe hiding something in these walls. Nothing fun, like It would actually be fun to have like an Easter egg or something in them, but maybe like just some extra storage space for like the actual, maybe like for the cleaning staff of the unit or something like that. So I might just add like a door and have like a really tiny janitor closet or, you know, something similar. But there we go, that is the front set. And the back set's even easier actually, so we can just extend all of these up, extending across the back. There we go, that is perfect. So now that we have made all of these walls, I think that we will also add all of these stairs as well. So we just have to add 2 more rows of stairs on top of every single set of stairs that we have. So just 1 and 2. It's the same whether it is the front or the back, the big giant door, it doesn't matter. Just 2 more sets of stairs all over the place. Just gonna come and do this one here. And whilst I am here as well, I'm just going to add some stone brick wall, just left and right of this door as well. Would it be better to make this 1 row higher, so there is actually 4 rows high? Kind of already going against what I said where it doesn't matter. I think that that probably looks better, right, than shrinking it and then having a row of smooth quartz across the top of it. We'll test it out. And then just heading inside, we definitely do just want the extra 2 rows on top of each one of these. Next, we are going to make the interior ceiling. To do this, we will place a row of white concrete directly across the top of the entire front of the build, like this, joining all of this empty space together. And then we will spread that white concrete all the way throughout the build. So this will form the ceilings for each one of the units, the reception area, notice that you don't have to fill in these cavities unless you are planning to use them for something. We can then place white concrete, extending backwards throughout the hallway. Just like this, and then we can just fill in each one of these sections individually. Although, you may want to, say, have smooth quartz across the top of the actual storage unit doors, like this, as it's difficult to do this without actually breaking in. You will be able to see it on the inside, so the choice is between this, it kind of just blends into the roof, or this. I think that the separation is better, so that's what I'm going to go with. And then, just for continuity, I'm going to come all the way over here and continue. You can even increase the roof height, by the way, or ceiling height, I should say, in here. If you wanted to, you can literally just move the white concrete 1, 2, 3, even 4 rows upwards, I believe, and there won't be a problem. You will have to increase the size of the walls on the inside of the build, and it will start feeling a little bit less like a nice... Now that we have made the interior ceiling, we can head all the way back to the front of the building and add an additional row of polished andesite in front of every single one of our polished andesites, just like this. However, we want to add one more in front of the very left and right sides of the building. We then want to place smooth quartz block on top of these, extending all the way up to equal the height of the walls. Something that you may also choose to do is further extend the white concrete above the stone stairs. We should probably do it with the reception as well, just like this. And now that we have done that, we are then going to place a row of 4 quartz pillar on top of these outer rows of smooth quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to extend the quartz pillar all the way around the edge of the building. So I think that I'm just going to do it like this. I'm just going to do one entire row, extending all the way around the edge of the building. And once I reach this opposite side here, I'm just going to make this a row of 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm just going to go in reverse. So until we have the right amount of height. Perfect. So next we are going to place quartz slab on top of the quartz pillar. Notice that this is good old regular quartz slab, not smooth quartz slab. I want to have the texture. And now that we have added that layer, we can extend it all the way across the front of the build, just like this. And then we have a way to place our 1, 2, 3, 4 pillar quartz extending down. So previously, we would have had to place another block underneath our quartz pillar to have it placed vertically like this. Like, there's no way to, like, have that, like... We wanted to place the quartz pillar like in this position here, but also placed vertically, and this is probably the cleanest way of doing it. So we are now just going to extend down. We've got one more row after this one. It's very obvious as well if you place it incorrectly, which I do have a habit of doing. Perfect, look at that. So that's looking pretty nice. Now, whilst we are at the front, we are going to add some structure for the sign. Begin by placing a row of blue concrete extending from the left side of the reception all the way over to the right, and then just add an extra blue concrete just on the left and right side. We then want to add 3 rows on top of this. 1, 2, 3, and then we can just fill those in, and we will make the banners for this sign a little bit later. And something that is bothering me for some reason, let's just extend the wall and the glass pane blocks up as well, just because we're here. Now, we are going to head all the way up to the roof, and we are going to fill this in. So, we have a few different choices actually, I don't know which I prefer. We can fill the entire top of it in, with quartz slab, which I'm not vibing with, to be honest. Polished tuff, or cyan terracotta. Now, my vote, I think, is for the polished tuff because it just seems to sort of fit the vibe. So that's what I'm going for. But I think any sort of grey block would look good. I kind of just really like the texture of the tuff for this. And you may also notice that there is a good amount of space here as well. So if you did want to be cheeky and add some sort of like set of stairs somewhere or some sort of further storage area, you probably could do it, although it would be a little bit cramped. Certainly possible though. There always comes a point when it's just easier to do this for like roofs and floors. Now that we have successfully completed the roof, it's now time for us to head inside and begin work on the interior. First of all, the reception. Begin by placing 3, 1, 2, 3 blue concrete here in this position. Then a polished blackstone stair here, painting here, then item frame here, flower pot here. On this wall somewhere, maybe like either here, 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 and here, or tucked away in the corner, it doesn't really matter actually. We want to have a bunch of shelves with tripwire hooks in them, which basically just represent keys. I don't think that there's an item that looks like a key more than this, but if you find one, feel free to use it. And then on this wall here, I think that a little bench makes sense. I don't know why, but it does. So here, like this. So we just want to flip up 2 spruce trapdoors like this, connect them together at the top, stick a painting here. Now, for the ceiling, I want to have a light that is a little bit different from the rest of the lighting that we're going to use. I was thinking either just a regular sea lantern in the ceiling like this, or alternatively, I've been using this a lot, to be honest, basically just a lantern surrounded by a sign. I'm going with warped signs because it's, you know, kind of just fits the color scheme. So like right as we walk in here, I do kind of like that, I will say. So I would probably go with this, and this is a nice simple reception area. I don't think that we really need anything else. So now we can just head into the main area here. Now, step 1 is to add in some lights. I'm thinking that we remove this center strip of white concrete, either all the way to the end, or we can just like leave a gap from the end here, and we can replace these blocks with either regular quartz or quartz slab, whichever one you kind of have on hand. If we are going to leave a gap at the end there, I would also like to do it here. And the goal is to place end rods in between where we have the units here, and they are connected together with levers. So we would have like one here, say, and then here, say, and then we can have one here as well. So we can have 2 of them like this, or you could even just go for a third. Let's see what 3 looks like. It might be too much, it might be too little. Let's take a little look. I don't think that that looks bad. If you wanted to, you could remove this center one, but I think that that's a decent amount of light. And on the end, I have noticed that there is but one smooth quartz block, or rather quartz block, I should say. So I think I'd like it to match on this side as well. Not that anyone would see it, but let's add the same thing on this side too. So I do believe there's a gap of 2 here on this side, so it starts here, goes all the way to the end, leaves a gap of 1 from the end, then we add our quartz slab in, or quartz block, it doesn't really matter, and then we can position the levers so that they are either side of the smooth quartz here, and then we can just add all of these in. And that looks good. And whilst we are at the end here as well, I'm just going to add a stone pressure plate. Now this is minorly annoying, isn't it? Because we can't get back in. I'm just going to place a smooth stone here because this is going to be the floor material outside so that I can place the pressure plate so that I can just get in and out. And I'm just going to quickly do it on the opposite side as well. I didn't think about the fact that we hadn't the floor out here yet, but alternatively you can have like buttons or levers or whatever for the doors, but I like a cleaner look, so I'm just going to go for the pressure plate myself. And now we're just going to head towards the back part here. I don't think that we're going to have any lights back here unless we might add one to the middle, but primarily we want to add a cyan terracotta here, iron bar here, leather here, and then on this wall we are just going to stick like paintings, bamboo signs, and then we'll have probably a similar sort of thing here, so maybe like 1 or 2 paintings like this, and then maybe like a sign next to it. So the reason being for these is when I was researching these kind of like storage facilities, there's always like just a massive amount of like signs on the walls and advertisements and what you can and can't do. So that's what these represent. So you can write things in these signs if you like. I might do that at the very end, but for now I'm just going to leave it. And now why don't we figure out where some light can go? So I think this is the middle, lining up with this painting here. So that would mean, so we'll probably remove like these 5 rows, just leave a gap of 1 from the middle of the door here, gap of 1 from the middle of the door here. We can place our quartz slab just like this, lever here, then an end rod here, and then I think that looks alright. I don't think that that's too bad. The alternate option would be to have it go the other way, but I don't think it really makes sense for that part of the build. So when it comes to these doors, I feel as though that maybe we should have like item frames and levers just like this next to the doors, just so that we can actually get in and out of these. And I am thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to actually label these doors with some sort of sign, so either like above where we have the... So like, what's the best position? Like above the door, above the lever, to the left of the door. Don't like that. Don't really like that. Maybe above the door, so like, you know, unit 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we can place... My item frame has somehow went missing, but we can place these here. What's funny is this lever... Oh no, I thought it would affect that door, but it's not. That's actually good, so we'll place all of these. Perfect. And then along these walls as well, like if you find that there is kind of like a bit of a gap somewhere, the painting, sign, or just single painting combo would look good as well. You can stack a couple of signs here too, maybe like a larger painting, just trying to litter the walls with stuff. You also don't have to either. Like, that's also another thing. Like, if you would prefer a bit of a clean look, you certainly could go for that. But I'm not. So I think that that's probably about it for in here, unless you want to label these as well. But I'm not going to label these individual units here. You certainly could, though. Once you have added those final details, it is now time for us to dramatically head back outside. It's about time that we start working on the outside details for the building. Step 1 I think that we just remove one entire row of grass from the entire perimeter of the building. So from the most outer point, like right here, in between all of the garage doors, extending all the way around the sides, we remove one row of grass. So that's the front. Then we can just move around to these sides. Be careful not to remove that smooth stone. And then all the way across the back. And up this side. And once you have removed just one, on the right and left sides, we want to remove two more. So 1, 2, extending from front to back. Then all the way over on the opposite side, an additional 1, 2. Again, from front to back. Or in this case, back to front, actually. Then we are just going to fill all of this in with smooth stone. I'm going to start at the front here, just because I want to pay special attention to get in between all of the unit doors. Then we can just head all the way around the back, and I don't even know how I'm doing it. Now, I don't even know how I've ended up here, but the important part is that we just fill all of this in with smooth stone. Oh, here we go. Everything's kind of came full circle. I'm back over here now. So, now that we have a path that leads all the way around the main building, we can start adding some more details to it. For instance, we can add, say, like a chest here, leave a gap, a couple of green terracottas here, which we can stack either iron trapdoors on top of, or oak trapdoors, or even spruce trapdoors. We can have, say, like dried kelp blocks with yellow candles on top, and like flower pots littered to the sides, and just like stacks of barrels or more chests or what have you, kind of just sprinkled about the place. So whether these are belongings that people are ready to take into the units, or they have been disposed of out of units that have been defaulted on, I think that these make just nice decoration. And I want to have the exact same thing on the opposite side of the build as well. So like we can just have like a different just dumpster here. We can have these things in like different proportions, and we can have something like this, and we can have like a larger stack of barrels just like so. We can change the orientation of them like so, like maybe we can have barrels and a chest. You can even use like shulker boxes if you like as well, because I think that these work quite well. So maybe something like this. You can use tables too, as long as you have something that looks a little bit messy. I think it's going to work out well. In addition to this, we can add the same level of advertisements that we would have on the inside of the build as well, but we can make them larger. So we can use our paintings rather well here to kind of just have, again, whether they be advertisements, whether they're just like rules on the storage, whatever it might be. I think that the paintings add like a nice delightful splash of colour to the build. And we can do the same thing here as well. So like in between the units, you can have 1x1s, you can have 1x2s, you could, you know, whatever it is you want to do. You can have something kind of just, I just want it to be a bit more colourful, a bit more lively. You can even stick it just up on the top here as well. But I'm also reserving it for the sides, I think. I don't know why, it just seems to strike me as a better place for it. Maybe not that painting, it's a bit, yeah, that one's alright actually. It's a little bit weird looking, but we can stick with that. We can even have like one here, say, and like, they don't always have to be like in the same sort of position either. So like we can just drop them, maybe just like one here. Something like that, I think looks pretty good. I'm thinking about leaving the back rather clean. So I think that I'm just going to leave this. Although I was considering adding like this either here or like here. And it doesn't really make sense because it wouldn't go anywhere. But I was thinking just like a couple of iron bars, maybe just like one. So that we have a way to like actually like open and close this door here at the back. I think that that's a pretty decent idea. I mean, would it look bad to have some, say, 3x3s across the back here? Probably not too many of them, though, right? Maybe, like, something like this. And then maybe on the opposite side. There's a specific 3x3 which would actually kind of make me laugh, which is the raccoon one. Which kind of makes sense as well with, like, a... That's kind of cute, actually. That would, although we can't store dogs in here. Yes, that's the one. Now, for these to work, maybe we have to add some, like, signs next to them, perhaps. Just so that it's... Maybe? I think that looks pretty good. I wish I could think of some things to write on the signs. I might have to do some Googling later, but I think that signs with information on whatever these are meant to represent look pretty good. But regardless of whether you decide to add that or not, and I'm certainly glad that I have, I think that it's about time that we take care of the dreaded sign. Don't mind me, I just accidentally grabbed the wrong banners. Throw down loom, open it up, place a white banner in there with black dye. We are just going to write out the word storage in letters. So the first letter, S. Chief, base, and bend pattern. Next is T. This is chief, and then pale. Next is O. This is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and then base. Next is R. This is chief, pale dexter, bend. Next is A. This is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and fess. Next is G. This is pale sinister. Put white dye in there. Apply the per fess pattern. Put black dye in there. Base, pale dexter, and then chief. And then lastly is E, which is simply pale dexter, chief, fess, and base. And we can take each one of our banners, and if we just start here, S-T-O-R-A-G-E. And that is perfect, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have made 95% of the main storage area. However, there is a lot more. We can now begin work on the outside storage areas. I don't know why I keep doing this. In front of our main storage building, we have a set of outdoor storage units. To make those, we first of all have to add a little bit of layout infrastructure. Begin all the way over at the front left-hand corner of our smooth stone path, and dig and remove 5 blocks extending this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Replace those blocks with cyan terracotta. Then, dig and remove a further 19 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Then, dig 8 rows that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then fill all of those removed grass blocks in with smooth stone, just like this. We then want to continue from where we left off over here and dig this way a further 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and replace those blocks with cyan terracotta. Then dig a further 17 rows extending this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. and we will replace those blocks with smooth stone. Then we will continue digging and remove another 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and replace those blocks with cyan terracotta. And then finally, we will dig another 9 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we will replace those blocks with smooth stone. What we can then do to make this quite easy is come all the way back to the first set of smooth stone, and we can dig from this end of the smooth stone all the way this way, and we can connect to this corner. And we can replace all of these blocks with smooth stone to create a rectangle. Now, we want to do the exact same thing with the other 2 smooth stone areas. So from the edge here, we just want to dig backwards and line up with the previous smooth stone area, and then dig across, and we want to join to the opposite end of our smooth stone row. So we are making, I'm pretty sure that this is still a rectangle, but it's very close to a square. Just like this. And then finally, we will do the exact same thing over here too. So we'll just dig from the end, line up with the end of here, and then dig across. Oh, and by the way, the edge of this smooth stone area should line up with the edge of this path. So if you have any doubts whatsoever, whether or not you have placed the right amount of blocks, that will very quickly tell you. So what we will end up with is these 3 areas right here. The next thing we can do is remove all of the grass from inside of the smooth stone areas. Preferably, we will keep the border intact. And then we can fill those areas in with smooth stone. And these are basically going to be the foundations for the aforementioned outdoor storage units. So the 2 outer areas are a little bit smaller, they're just kind of a single row of units, and that center area that we are about to remove all of the grass from and then fill in, this is like a double unit, so it's like 2 back-to-back storage units. So that is the largest central area complete, and now we can just move on to this area on the end. Now that we have laid the foundations, we can make the storage units themselves. And let's start with the smaller ones first. We can work our way up to the big one. So on the left side here, we come all the way over to the front right hand corner of our smooth stone foundation. We extend inwards diagonally by 1 and place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks extending up from the floor. We then place 3 polished granite extending this way, 1, 2, 3, and then a brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, a brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, a brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, and then a brick. We should then be able to extend down and connect to the equivalent position on this side as where we started. And then we can extend this same brick this way by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which we can then once again extend down to the inward corner here, and then we can extend all the way across the back of the build, join to the front, and then extend this corner down. And let's just make the back and sides first of all. So on the sides of the build, we will place a layer of polished granite at the base here, and then we will fill the middle section in with terracotta. The back is very similar, except we want to extend this brick this way and place 3 polished granite, 1, 2, 3, and then just a regular brick. And we want to repeat this process until we reach the opposite side, and you will notice that the granite on the back matches the granite at the front. And then we can split these areas up by extending these bricks up, and then we can just fill these empty sections in using terracotta until we eventually reach this side, in which we can copy the opposite side, place polished granite across the base, terracotta in the middle, and then I think that it may actually be easiest to extend the separating rows of brick that we have at the back of the build all the way forwards like this, and this will naturally create the walls in between the storage units. Just like that. And from here, we can add doors, which are just polished andesite stairs. I will not change my mind on this one, as I did with the other part of the tutorial over there, as the polished andesite stairs don't clash with any of the surrounding blocks. And I do think that they make a nicer door material than the stone stairs, but it's also nice to have contrast between the two parts of the storage facility as well. So what we'll also do is add a drain pipe to this side of the build by placing a row of polished deep slate wall up the side of the build there with a cauldron in the ground. We will do the exact same thing all the way at the back of the build as well, but on the opposite side, just like this. Then we can add the roof, although the problem with the drain pipe on the back is the fact that the roof only sits. So we use polished blackstone slabs for the roof, right? So that extends across the entire top of the build. It just completely fills in all of the roofs for each one of the storage units. Just like this. And then on the front specifically, we have a row of polished blackstone slab that extends across the front like this. And we are not meant to have it on the back. So what I'm thinking is maybe I was a bit hasty with the drain pipe on the back of the build, and I won't add it. But if you did want to extend the roof off the back, then you could indeed keep it. But I think that we'll just leave it like that. I think that looks pretty good. In its simplest form, this is how you make one of these smaller storage units. And now that we have made the one, we are going to come all the way over to here and make another one. And it is also going to face inwards like that one. So we are going to start here this time and place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks extending up. And then a set of 3 polished granite extending this way. 1, 2, 3. Then a brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, brick. 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, and then a brick, which we will connect down, and then we will extend that way by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. We will then extend all the way across the back, and we will join down to here, and then we will extend forwards, just like this. Let's make the sides and the back now. So on the sides we just have polished granite at the base, terracotta in between, and then across the back of the build we will have a row of 1, 2, 3 polished granite, and then a brick just extending along the entire back here, and then ultimately we will extend the bricks up and then place terracotta on top of the granite. And then on this opposite side here, we will have polished granite across the base, and then terracotta to fill in this gap, just like so. Then, for the front of the build, we are just going to extend the brick rows forwards, just like this, to create walls in between each one of our storage units. Just like this, and then we will add the doors, which are of course just the polished andesite stairs, or maybe we'll swap them to stones that... Nah, I'm joking. We're keeping the andesite, just like this, and then where shall we swap the position for the drain pipe? So on this side, shall we have the deep slate wall here, and then the cauldron here? Just so that it's a little bit different. And then for the center one, we can have it like opposite, so that we kind of have like one on each one of the 4 corners, if that makes sense. It might when we actually start doing it. And then once we've done that, we can just add the roof to this, which is of course just the polished blackstone slab, which we will extend from the back all the way forwards until it just overhangs the front of this little mini unit here by 1 row. Now that we have completed the 2 smaller storage units, we can work on the larger one. So it's very, very similar to these two, but there are some differences. Starting with the starting position. Begin all the way over at the front right hand corner of the smooth stone foundation and count to the left 1, 2, and then inwards 1. Place a row of 4 bricks, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending up like this, and then we can start extending this way and place 3 polished granite, 1, 2, 3, and then a brick, then 3 more granite, 1, 2, 3, brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, brick, 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, and then brick, and then we can just extend it down to the ground just like this. We can then extend this brick that way by 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we can join all the way down, just like this. We can then start extending this way, and we can place our usual series of 3 granite, 1, 2, 3, and then brick, 1, 2, 3, brick, 1, 2, 3, brick, 1, 2, 3, brick, and then we can join all the way down to the ground once we line up with that side. We can then just extend our bricks just all the way across like this. Then, at the base here, we will place a row of 5 polished granite extending this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a brick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nothing. And then we can divide this area up by extending these bricks up. We can then place terracotta above the granite, just like so. And then we can actually extend the middle row of bricks. I'll just start with the base here. The middle row of bricks all the way across to the opposite side, extend up, then, okay, well, I messed that up slightly. Extend all the way over to the opposite side, then extend up if you're in the right position. Oops. And then we can place granite just left and right like this. And then we can just fill these empty spaces in with terracotta. Just like so. And then we can extend our middle row of bricks just all the way up, and this will create a barrier between the front and the back set of units. And what we can also do is on both sides extend these bricks down to the ground, so the separating rows between each one of the individual units down to the ground. We can add the andesite stairs in between them all. And then we can just add the separating rows of bricks, just like this. So really, really simple. It is basically just two of the smaller version, kind of just pressed together back to back. So that's one side, and on this side we will add the drain pipe over here, as it is opposite to there. Then we'll head onto the opposite side here, and then we can add all of these separating walls here. And then we'll add the doors to them afterwards. Just like this. And then we can just add some bricks in between. Then we can add some deep slate wall over here with a cauldron here, as once again it's kind of opposite, so that is actually kind of worked out nicely like this. And then lastly, all we've got to do, I do believe, is add the row of polished blackstone slabs across the top. And where this differs ever so slightly as well is that the slabs now overhang both sides, as there isn't really like a back of this, it's just like a front and then another front. So and now that we have made each one of our 3 outdoor storage units, we can add some detail to them, if you like. There is something to be said for some just nice, clean units like this, but if you did want to add some similar decorations as to what we have over there, say like some of these dumpsters with like a chest also here, and maybe we can do like a similar thing over here, maybe something like this. We really can just mix and match it up a bit, and then we can add paintings as well with like the signs too. So anything like this is fine, and again, you do not have to go too far with this at all. Like you can, and you can keep changing it. Like you don't have to keep repeating the same details as we have already had. You can remix them a little bit. You can add a different, well, not that. I'm going to recommend not that, but oh, it's such an ugly painting. But, you know, something like this, I think is just fine. Like, that's a nice level of detail. For some reason, I don't want to add anything across the back. I kind of just want it on these sides here. And then you could, of course, just have a little bit more just over here too. Probably a little bit less, I think, so maybe just something like this on these sides. Nothing. The middle set of units, I think, should probably have just like a little bit more going on, because like it is a larger area. But Again, all of this is like a personal preference sort of deal, so whatever you feel is appropriate. And then, I reckon I might leave this one. No, I was going to leave this one alone, but I think that it definitely deserves to have at least a little something. I should also point out that I did consider like labeling each one of these and having something like this. So like, this is unit number 1, which the number would either be off to the side or like up the top here, and then there'd be like a keyhole or something to like, you know, theoretically enter the unit. But I'm going to be honest with you, I actually think that this looks better, so I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you certainly can if you want. Now that we have made all of the storage areas, we are going to head to the back of the build and begin work on the road layout. So come all the way over to this position, and here place 3 yellow carpet extending this way. 1, 2, 3. Remove a block to the left, place a yellow concrete, and then place 3 more carpet. 1, 2, 3. Remove a block, white concrete, 3 more carpet, remove a block, white concrete, 3 more carpet, just like this. We then want to dig to the left, and we want to line up with this polished andesite here, fill all of this gap in with smooth stone, and then we want to repeat that pattern, so 3 yellow carpet, white concrete. And we should end up in the same place that we started on the opposite side there. We can then dig in front of these smooth stones this way. We want to remove 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like this. Do you know what, actually? We can dig and remove 6 rows in front of all of this. That's probably a better use of our time. And I'm going to start removing the grass from the front first so that I have less likelihood to catch it. Perfect. Then we can extend our smooth stone rows forwards, and I'll show you how you may choose to customize the 2 side bits. I'm not sure that it fits though, that's why I've not done it, but I'll give you guys the option, as I like to do. But the 2 end smooth stone bits and that rather large one in the middle, we're just going to extend all of that. Now on the sides, I did consider adding a bit of greenery in the form of grass and ferns here. I do kind of like it, and also I'm not certain it makes sense. So I'll tell you what, we'll leave this like this, and we'll leave that like that, and we'll see which one we like after we finish this. And we are going to extend the white concrete here forwards, just in between all of these car parking spaces. And we will then fill the car parking spaces in with cyan terracotta. And I did actually consider doing something else as well. So this middle part, right, it's clearly meant so that you can like back something up and put something, like back a truck up to the center of the back of the storage facility. So I was thinking maybe we could like change the road here, at the very least lining up with the stairs, maybe two like this. I was thinking like stone or andesite, or you know, just something other, maybe even like light grey concrete powder. I was thinking that this might look better and make a bit more sense, and now that I'm looking at it, I still think that. And then along the side here, I was also thinking that we will add the grass and we will add the fern, because I do think that it looks quite nice. I think that some lights back here might work well as well. Like some insanely simple like floodlight type deal. So like 4 stone brick wall extending up. I'm missing one of the pivotal blocks. And then like sea lanterns just like left and right. So something like this just at the back corners specifically. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just here, I don't know why, just on the back of the building. I guess you could do it at the front as well. It might not look as good. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only one way to find out though, isn't there? So, yeah, maybe. Maybe. It does kind of like throw things off a little bit though, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe something that isn't this style might look a little bit better, like just a beacon or something. But we'll keep that for now because it's not like it's not dreadful. Just to remind ourselves that we can add some lights there a little bit later on. But that's looking pretty good. Next, I want to add the road layout, but funnily enough, the easiest way to make the road layout is by making everything else first. So come all the way over to this position and dig to the left of this smooth stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Replace those blocks with cyan terracotta, and then dig and remove, extending all the way to the front of the grid here, and replace all of these with cyan terracotta, just like so. Then we can dig and remove the white concrete all the way around the edge of our grids. We can replace all of that with stone. Which is taking longer than expected. And then we can place 1, 2 rows of iron bars, some may say iron bars, on top of the stone. So I'm just going to start off with the 1 row, because I find it hard enough to place iron bars as it is without doubling up on them. Perfect, and then we can just work our way back. No, you know what? I am going to start here again, and I'm going to go this way, because I have a sense that it might be a little bit easier for me, as you guys may know, iron bars, amongst many other things, is one of my weaknesses. I find it very hard to place these. It requires an immense amount of concentration, and I wish that there was some sort of way, or some sort of option, to just place them on top of that row instead of misplacing them, as I keep doing. This is actually torture. Probably for you guys as well. You guys have probably already placed all of your iron. Should I cut this out? This is so unbelievably frustrating, guys. What about like this? No, kind of easier, but not. Oh. I don't think it makes a difference. I think I'm just bad. Okay, finally, we have added a fence all the way around the outside of the facility. Next, we are going to add a pathway all the way along the inside of our fence. So we'll remove just one row of grass from against the stone all the way around. And we will replace that with smooth stone. Then, that makes this next part incredibly simple. To make the roads, all we have to do is remove all of the grass and then replace it with cyan terracotta. Now, notice that I used the word simple and not easy because there is quite a lot of grass and it is kind of like spread out in between all of the units and what have you, so that this is going to take quite a while. Okay, so that is all of the grass gone, and I wasn't quite sure because it really does like to hide. And now we can fill all of this in with cyan terracotta. And there we go. That is all of the road done. Next, I want to talk about the storage units themselves. Whilst I think it's fine to leave the build just like this, I think it looks fantastic. We do, of course, have the option of opening up some of these units. Now, my recommendation is to remove the stairs and then just place a couple of layers of, say, andesite stairs like this to indicate that the door is open, or regular stone stairs if you want to do one of those. And in here, we can place stuff. The simplest solution is just to add some storage related blocks. So brown shulker boxes most look like just regular brown cardboard boxes, and then we have barrels and we have chests as well, of course, and just these in a unit look fine by themselves. However, we can take it a step further. Let me show you some examples of what we can put in our storage units. This feels very sinister. Here we have a bunch of kitchen related things in our unit. This one is a music themed unit. I should also say that if you want to copy any of these, just pause the video and you should be able to do that, no problem. They're not too complicated. Here we have a bunch of living room / dining room furniture. Honestly, this is kind of like chill in here. I wouldn't mind cracking open a book in this room. Similar sort of thing here, we just have a chair and an old TV and some furniture. Now, in this unit, we have some bicycles with some helmets on the ground as well. I do want to come back to the vehicles at a little later point in this video, as I do have a bunch of suggestions of what vehicles we can add to this build that will really complement it. But since we're here, I also have a motorcycle in this unit. This is across the front. We can leave these open as well. We have a car over here, which fits really nicely. Heading inside the build, first of all, I would recommend that if you do add the doors to the inside of the outside units, then you should probably put something in them, I think. So as you can see, we're gonna see loads of default related things, so just storage, tables, that sort of stuff, and of course we have the motorcycle here, so you don't have to do that if there is something already in there. In here, we have a pet unit, which I quite like. No actual animals, though. I also did a few fun ones. So, unit number 1 is a pirate unit, which has a stash of gold and a treasure map. Here, we have the end unit, which is just a little miniature version of the end biome, featuring Ender Dragon hair. And lastly, we have your pretty bog standard demonic ritual unit. Hopefully that has provided a little bit of inspiration for you, if nothing else. But now let's talk about the vehicles. I can't believe I'm back at this fence. Here we have a selection of vehicles which can be used to enhance this build. I will leave a link for a tutorial in the description that will show you how to make every single one of these. Funnily enough, in the order that I've actually built them in as well. Vehicle number 1, the bicycle. Now, we have already encountered this in this unit. I think that the bicycle is just a great storage unit filler. Next, we have the motorcycle, which of course is a great unit filler as well. However, there's no reason that we can't have 1 or 2 of these at the back of the build, in the car park. We just have to change the colour a little bit. Now, the same thing goes for the car. Of course, we can stick these in any unit that we would like. However, the car park at the back of the facility is also a great candidate as well, and you can even litter the roads with them as well. Now, for the pickup truck, I actually think that this is best placed, like, somewhere around here, like up any one of these aisles. I think is just like a really nice location for the pickup truck, because it just sits right nicely in the center and it just adds a bit of atmosphere, especially if it's near like an open unit as well. We can do a similar thing with the box truck. Just like the pickup truck, the box truck just fits so nicely up the center of these aisles, and whether it's coming or going, like you can place it in either direction, I just think that it looks really good here. Next, we have a lorry. I was thinking it might not be too crazy to have a lorry at the back of the facility, as maybe it has just unloaded or has been loaded up via this large garage. You could do a similar thing with the box truck as well. And actually, I've just thought of something else. What do we think about a forklift? Like, the forklift could be placed back here, and it has like a set of pallets so that it could be like either removing waste from the units and then loading it up into the truck. I don't think that that's a terrible idea. And then I am thinking that I will just add another car, just heading towards the back of the build, since everything seems to be kind of like leaving and there's not really anything on this side of the build. I think that that just looks good there. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Once you have added 1, 2, none, or all of those vehicles to the build, we have successfully completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our storage facility into our city. Now, the question is, where are we going to put it? I actually think that down here in the industrial area, amongst the warehouses and factories, is a good place for a build like this. I think it will look good if we keep one warehouse and one factory together, rotate them, create a split in the road, move the other warehouse and the Acme factory, aka Pinky and the Brains house, move that out of the way, place the storage facility facing the original warehouse and factory, and then we can kind of just slot the Acme factory and warehouse on the end here, and I think that this is a far more interesting layout, and we kind of have the beginnings of a nice industrial estate actually. This looks fantastic. I am really happy with how this has turned out. What do you guys think? You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labeled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.